Nathan Stanford, and this is 5 more PHP and HTMX examples. I made the examples a little more zoomed in so it at least gets more of the screen. So what this is tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3. This is dynamic content. So when you click tab 2, it's literally going and pulling the content from whatever the page is. It can be pulling from the database. So you can literally have this call the database or call an API, whatever you need it to do, and then it will fill in this data down here. It will switch. So that's just one example. And if we go look at the code, you see here on each of these buttons, we have HX get content. So I'm telling it passing through the URL that this is for tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3. If you needed to, you could have these go to completely different files. It's going to, with HX target, it's going to target to display that information in the ID div or wherever you've got the ID. It's going to replace whatever's in here with whatever comes back from this get. It's just going to simply replace that. So here is the tab. It's not doing a whole lot. It's just doing this, but you could have it go get it from the database or anything you want. So that's example number 1 of these second 5. This is an example of updating a progress bar with HTMX and pulling that update from PHP. So if I click here, you can see it starts 10, 20, just keeps going until it gets to the end. And then we will, here's the code for the progress bar. You have this button here that you can click. And when you click it, it's going to go to the start progress.php. It's going to return back the target into this progress. And it's going to put it right here. And it's going to be triggered when you click the button. So if we go to start progress and we look at that, in here, it's got the session set to 0. And every time it triggers, it's going to run the update progress. So it's going to get the update. It's going to trigger every 1 second, and right now it starts off as 0. And then if we go look at the update is going to simply take the progress and add 10 to it. If it's greater than 10, it's going to destroy that session. Else it's going to continue to update this code with letting it go another second until it finishes. That's how the progress bar worked. This is an example of using PHP and HTMX to create a dynamic dropdown. So when you click this, it gives you all these people, and that is a dynamic list that it's doing. And we can go look at the code. So here is the code. If you select a user, it's going to go to this get user email. Notice there's no user email down here. Then it's going to select the target that it's going to put it in, which is in this div down here, the information about the user that you select. So as it loops through the database, it will fetch that information, and it will then pull the username from this get user email, and it will get replaced down here. So if we go here, you can see that here we're connecting to the database. We're getting the email for the user where it equals the one you've selected, and then it's echoing back the results, and that results is being put in here because of this pound user email, which is for the ID down here. This example is for inline editing. So you can see these options. Obviously this can be made to look better, and I am zoomed in, so if you zoom out, you'll see it would look better at 100% would be there. So for this case, I'm going to leave it zoomed out just to try to make it look a little better. So let's say we don't want buy groceries, we want buy new book. And let's say we don't want to finish a report. We want to write book report. So I can save these in any order. Now I moved the buttons to the left to make it look better, but the buttons now show up on the right. So either way, you can have the button on the left or on the right. You can change the look and feel of the buttons. So this is a great example of inline editing using HTMX. Behind the scenes, it's hitting the database. So if you remember, I can hit refresh, and now it's buy new book, and it's write book report. Why? Because it saved it into the database. So if we go look at the code, let's hide the header because that's not important. And let's do this. Okay, so in here, we're querying the database, and we're getting all of this information about the titles, the edit button, and we're looping through to display all that information. Here we're in fact, let's go back. Here, if we click edit button, we find HX right here. HX get is going to go to edit task PHP, and it's going to pass the ID that we're going to be editing. And so if we go to the edit task, we can see up here that we look in here and we go get the information about that particular one we're going to edit. And we literally display a form in that same spot. So we can actually say paste to change the look and feel of the button. And we can move the button to the beginning, so that way it would kind of look like it belongs there. Then we can, let's copy this again. Hopefully oops, hold on. There we go. Okay, let me save that. Then we will copy this. And when you hit save, it's going to actually go post the form to update task PHP, which is this file. So if we want to fix that button here, this is where this would be. So we can first fix the look and feel of the button by adding this here, and we really need a space here. And then if you look, it's going to target the task, and it's going to replace that. And then we kind of want the edit to be on the other side. Now, if I've got this done right, which you have been able to see, if I go back here and I simply hit refresh and I say, okay, let's change this one to call home. And let's pick this one. Let's say fix bike. And I can hit save in any order. I can hit refresh, and it's called from the database. So you can see it's working. So this one is lazy loading images. We click here, and behind the scenes, it's loaded these images. So if we go look at the code to understand what it's doing, we look here in the index, and we get rid of the top. Here we're passing in the list of indexes, and for each one of these indexes, we want it to go and load them using load image. So if I do this, you can see once the image is there and it's triggered, because it's revealed the bottom images are not loaded yet, but they end up getting loaded later. So let's actually see. I think these can be different images. Let's first go see if I'm correct on what I'm thinking. So you can see, maybe not, but it's loading the image after it gets here, not where we saw it before. It's going and telling the source, and it's loading them. So if we go back here, we do right click and we do inspect, you can see that it actually says lazy loaded image. So that's the 5 more HTMX. Stay tuned. I think I have maybe 10 more. Maybe I can do 5 more in the next video, and maybe 5 more, and then I'll see if I can think of some more things that you might be interested in with PHP and HTMX, as well as I've started, kind of like I did with Cold Fusion, I've started a CF forum that is showing you how to use Cold Fusion and HTMX building a form. So I also said, why not build one PHP form? So I've got that. I'm starting to build that's going to be PHP and HTMX. So if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe and do a thumbs up. Let me know. And any comments, please comment so I can know what you've liked. Thank you very much.